Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of this style of video. Today we are doing UFC 322 predictions. We're going to look at the card, look at the fights, look at a few of the odds, and we're going to make our own mind, make our own predictions. I must say this is a crazy card happening in Madison Square Garden. Main event, obviously, the Australian welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena taking on the Dagestani powerhouse Islam Makhachev, former lightweight champion, now moving up, pursuing a second belt. Co-main event, women's flyweight championship, the number 1 pound for pound, Valentina Shevchenko taking on number 2 pound for pound, Zhang Weili, former strawweight champ who's given up the belt to move up and fight Valentina. We're going to start from the bottom of the card, look at the fights, and we're going to predict a few of these. So first fight of the night is Vyacheslav Borshev and Mateus Camilo. 155 lightweight bout, obviously Slava Klaus is it's a hard one here. He's a very high level kickboxer, multiple time world champion in kickboxing actually, I believe, ISKA, Waco. In the UFC so far, unfortunately, he is 3-5 with 1 draw. This could be the last fight of his UFC career. Now 8-6, I believe. Yep, with 1 draw. On a 2-fight losing streak. He hasn't had easy fights either. Like, you really look at the guys he's fought, Mark DeCasey, very high-level kickboxer. Mike Davis, very high-level grappler. Chase Hooper, Tom Nolan, up-and-comer, very talented. And Terrence McKinney, obviously, just kills everyone in the first round if he feels like it, if he's having a good day. Mateus Camilo, on the other hand, is a very sharp striker. Very low output. He has a decent ground game as well. Obviously lost his UFC debut here. Fought that guy, Nabotov, who, I don't know if you remember this face. He was at a press conference and he told Dana to sign him. He ended up beating him, obviously, by decision. And got a UFC contract from that. Losing to Gabe Green. In this fight, though, he did have his moments. He's very aggressive in the terms of pressure. He's a very high pressure fighter. Low output, but very heavy hands, and he's a flat-footed fighter, but he can bang. Very good ground game as well. Obviously 9 wins, 6 of which are finishes. 3 submission losses, which is not great. He's a good grappler, but obviously he's been fighting in Brazil, so what can you expect? Those guys were born choking each other out. I'm going to predict here, though, Mateus Camilo is going to win this fight. Most likely, he's going to knock Borshev out. Unfortunately, I do believe this will be Borshev's last chance in the UFC. But I'm going to take Mateus Camilo here by knockout. Moving on to the next fight, a featherweight banger, Chepe Mariscal. I don't think this guy's ever been in a boring fight. I believe he's riding a 5-fight win streak right now in the UFC. Yeah, there's 5 in the UFC, 8 in total. All his UFC fights so far have been decisions, actually. Oh no, except for Jack Jenkins, where he broke his elbow. But he's a very good fighter. He's very aggressive, a bit reckless. Does leave himself open to be countered, but a guy like Sabatini is not going to do anything about that because he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a very, very high-level submission specialist. And what he's going to do is obviously going to shoot, and he is going to be looking for that submission. Obviously, 20 wins, 13 submissions. Excuse me. So he's a very high-level grappler. I am going to take Sabatini in this one. It's a bit of a hard one. Obviously, there is a good chance Mariscal just absolutely beats the piss out of him, but there's also the chance Sabatini gets him down and controls him. Mariscal's aggressiveness could be his downfall in this fight, giving Sabatini an opportunity to shoot if he starts swinging wildly, which he loves to do. I'm predicting this one Sabatini by submission. Next fight is an absolute banger. Oh, if you don't know about this fight, you need to know about this fight. 2 huge prospects currently in the bantamweight division. Wellmaker, obviously, like a 31-year-old prospect. 31 years old. 10-fight win streak, obviously. He's 10-0. Knocked out Chris Matinho. He's a great fighter. Cody Haddon, on the other hand, I think he is going to win this fight. He's very, very high-level boxing, very high-level wrestling. He can mix it all up really well. Obviously, one loss, which was to Steve Erceg back in 2021. So it's a huge fight. Obviously, it's a big risk for Cody Haddon to take, especially on short notice, 2 weeks short notice. Obviously, people here think Wellmaker's going to win this, but I've really got Cody Haddon winning this, most likely by decision. I think he's going to mix up his wrestling really well in this fight, and it's going to get him the victory. So, yeah, I'm going to say Cody Haddon here. Yeah, like people really underestimate him because they watch too much TikTok, so they're going to find out. Roman Kopylov versus Gregor Rodriguez. After Kopylov's last fight with Costa, where he lost me a lot of money, I don't really want to talk about him, so I'm just going to say these guys are both... they're both strikers, obviously. They both like to bang a little bit. Actually, Kopilov's more of a sniper, but he also loves to lose my money. So I'm just going to actually predict Kopylov is going to win this fight. I think Rodriguez is not as old as he says he's 31, but he's probably like mid-60s when you look at his head. I'm predicting Kopylov to win here. I don't really want to get into it. This is a really good fight. It's a grappler specialty fight. Obviously, multiple-time Jiu-Jitsu world champion against American, NCAA D1 champ. I'm actually going to pick... Sorry, I'm going to turn that volume down. I'm going to pick Bo Nickel for this one. I think Vieira's quite old. He's 36, I believe. His last fight against Trajan God did not look great. He got beat up pretty badly. It was just gore striking against his grappling. And I'm going to take Bo Nickel here. This fight as well, I don't really want to talk about it. Like, this is just another filler. Gerald Meerschaert is probably near 40 years old right now. He is 37. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Dalkas, obviously, I believe he's only had the one UFC fight. Against Michelle Pereira. Look, the odds for this, we need to see these odds. Where are the odds? Yeah, that's all you need to know. Realistically, I'm predicting as well, Dalkas by knockout. He's the younger guy. He's only... Oh, shit, he's 32. He's old, it's not old, but you know what I mean. He's not as old as Meerschaert. He's in form, clearly. I'm predicting him by knockout. And I think this is probably Meerschaert's retirement fight. This fight as well, Fatima Klein, obviously, she's 2-time Cage Fury champion. I'm not sure if she's 2-weight or 2-time, but she got 2 belts. Anyway, 2 UFC fights so far. 3, sorry. 1 loss to Jasmine Jestovicius, which is fair enough. And then 2 wins here by finish. I'm predicting she's going to sleep Angela Hill. And, I'm predicting knockout here by Fatima Klein. This fight is a pretty cool fight. I'm predicting Baisangor by knockout. Eric McConaughey he's a tough guy, but he's not a very technically sound fighter. Baisangor is still only 24 or 25 years old. 24 here, 2001. I think he's got a lot. He's going to improve a lot. He's got a lot to do, a lot to work on. He's going to win this fight quite decisively, but soon down the line, he's going to get one of those fights where it really tests him, and he probably will lose that fight down the line, and it'll be a good fight for him to bounce back from. But this guy's an animal. He fought on the Contender Series on, a Wednesday, and then he fought again on Saturday. Cut twice to middleweight in a week, which is very impressive. So, he's got that Dagestani kind of mindset, and he'll go very far. This next fight, Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. I'm just going to go out and say UFC flyweight bout here. Co-headliner. This is the headliner of the prelims. Allegedly. I don't know. This order doesn't look right to me, but anyway. We're going to go with Blanchfield by decision here. I don't want to get into this fight too much. There's not much to be said. She's got a win over Rose Namajunas, I believe, recently. And Rose has a win over Cortez. There we go, Cortez. So, I'm just going to predict here a Blanchfield decision. She's very well-rounded. She's good. I think I'm not sure how old she is. She's 26. She's realistically, she's not too far away from a title shot now. And, she'll be at that soon. Next fight, this one is an absolute banger. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. This is a sick fight in the welterweight division. A huge risk that Sean Brady does not need to take. But this is why he's one of my favorite fighters. He's a fucking gangster and he took the fight regardless. He could have sat around and waited for the title shot, but he wants to stay active. And that's very respectable. Obviously, he is on a 4-fight win streak. Obviously, had that loss to Bilal. Say what you want to say. He wasn't feeling well, so I give him a break. But yeah, obviously, a huge dominant performance over Leon Edwards, former champion. Absolutely bullied him, and then finally finished with that crazy guillotine in the 4th round. Michael Morales, on the other hand, knockout machine here. 13 of his 18 are knockouts. That's a terrifying thing to see. 72% of his fights are knockouts. Obviously, in the UFC, undefeated, obviously 18-0 still. Huge knockout on Gilbert Burns. Always had to see. Love Gilbert, but he's getting to that age. But for this fight, I'm not sure what the fans are thinking here. Yeah, I kind of agree with this. I'm actually predicting a Sean Brady submission. I'm going to say in the 2nd round. I think round 1, Morales might get a few nice shots off, but Sean is too strong. He's like 5'10" unit. He's built like a linebacker. So I got Sean Brady for that one, opening up the main card. Sean Brady, I'm going to say 2nd round submission. Moving on to the next fight is a lightweight fight. Pretty good fight. Obviously, Benoit Saint-Denis is coming off that win. How have I forgotten who he fought? Oh, that's right. Ruffy, obviously, yeah. Fully fraud-checked Ruffy. Then that win over Kyle Propolic. I lost to Moicano, which was... he was getting fucking bullied in that fight, let's be real here. Dariush recently had a win over Moicano. Did quite a unanimous, fight. I'm predicting Dariush is actually going to win this, regardless that he's 36 years old. People underestimate this guy. He's got 2 losses recently against the two guys who could fight for the belt. Sorry, I got cut out there. So yeah, 2 guys that could have just fought for the belt, well, could still fight for the belt. I'm gonna get Beneil Dariush here. He's going to finish what's his name? Saint Denis. He's just too reckless. Beneil's a very high level wrestler, very high level striker. Benoit is just a reckless guy. Enough said. Beneil's gonna win that fight. Moving on to the next fight on the card, we got Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates here. This is a huge fight in the welterweight division. 2 of the top strikers in the division. Obviously, Leon coming off a loss to Sean Brady. I believe that was his last fight. Yeah, Sean Brady. 2-fight losing streak. Carlos Prates with that crazy spinning elbow recently against Jeff Neal with a 2nd left in the round. Had that loss to Ian Gary, but if Prates wasn't smoking and drinking so much, I think he would have very easily won that fight. I actually have Prates winning this. Oh, so did the people. I think Leon's on the back end of his career now. Obviously only a 2-year difference here, but Prates just looks in form. He's definitely sharper than Leon these days. And yeah, I'm predicting a Prates finish in this fight. Or actually, I think a bloody decision. Moving on to the next fight. The co-main event of the night. The Women's Championship. Pound for pound number 2 versus pound for pound number 1. Strawweight versus flyweight UFC female champions. I'm just going to say Shevchenko's too big for Weili. Weili is very strong, but I do believe Shevchenko's striking might help her get the win in this one. I don't know. It's a weird fight. You never know with Weili because she is a lot, she's deceptively strong for someone her size. But I'm going to say here Shevchenko probably wins this fight. Most likely a decision. I wasn't very impressed with the last fight against Fiora. Her last fight against Tatiana Suarez? Yeah, Tatiana Suarez. That was very impressive. Suarez looked a lot bigger than her, and she just manhandled her. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm probably going to say Valentina wins a split decision in this one. Now, moving on to the last fight of the night. The UFC Welterweight Championship. JDM versus Islam. Number 1. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. The welterweight champion against the lightweight champion. Obviously, he's vacated that belt to move up here. He is a favorite. Somehow Islam is a favorite here. People are counting Jack Della out. I'm going to take Jack Della here, probably by finish in the 4th or 5th round. I think he's going to break Islam slowly. You know, both these guys are on huge win streaks. Islam, I believe, is on a 15-fight win streak. Jack is obviously on 18. Only lost his first 2 fights. Yeah, I think Jack has so much potential to probably be one of the greatest fighters of all time when it's all said and done. Only 29 years old still. Yeah, I'm just going to say Jack's probably going to box Islam's head off. Obviously, in that fight with Bilal, people were saying Bilal wasn't even shooting, but he shot every round. He did his best. And then they were also saying that Bilal was boxing Jack's head off. But what they're not really seeing is that Jack was fighting with his hands low the entire fight. The whole game plan was lower your guard a little bit so that when he shoots, we have our down blocks there. We can sprawl easier. So obviously his hands were a bit lower, so Bilal landed a bit more. And it's probably going to be a little bit the same here. It's going to be obviously a little bit lower hands for Jack, just so that threat of Islam's takedown isn't there. Or is there, but it's easier to manage. But the downside to that is Islam has a very good head kick. So if his hands are too low, Islam could possibly set up a head kick here. But I think Jack is very defensively sound, and he's going to get this one done. So I'm predicting Jack Della here, you know, late in the fight. But I believe he's going to get a finish. We will see what happens at the end of this card, and I'll do another video on it soon.